Hello, my name is Betsy. I'm a psychotherapist of many years, and I'm hopping on now to share with you what components come together to create the quantum body experience, how you can feel your very own light body, how you can um, create the opportunity for this awareness to surface in your life. And I won't get into right now what can build from that awareness because it is beyond words. And the field, uh, I feel the field really creates that path if you have that desire. So the last of the three states that I felt um, brought me into my awareness last year of my quantum body that I've been using every day now, pretty much since it was just an awakening to the light body within. And the two we've covered so far in this three-part series of little videos. The first was heart coherence. So that opening of the heart and um, feeling warm and safe and loving. The next one was being in flow state. So we're in our heart, it's open. We're looking at someone we love down the road there. We're running and we're an athlete or something, or we're a runner. For you, it could be, any form of exercise. I do think you need to be in motion. Um, but that's just my own experience. Again, disclaimer, everything here is my own experience, okay? And as far as the next one, it's the breath. Now, when I was in grad school, quite a long time ago, to become a therapist, I always felt like I was just this giant head, resting on this teeny tiny little, like almost like a lollipop, like I was just a little stick of a body. I didn't even know where my feet were. I was so headstrong, head first, intellectually overstimulated and quite academic. And while it was really valuable, and I spent a good 10, 20 years fine-tuning that awareness as a therapist. I also concurrently decided to do this yoga teacher's training on weekends for about 6 months. And I wasn't doing it to become a yoga instructor. I was doing it because I just felt I needed to stretch, I needed to relax, I needed to balance out this lollipop thing, right? I wanted my big head to kind of become, more aligned with the rest of me. And what I didn't realize is that the it was an incredible ashram that I went to, that their whole focus was on yoga teachers training in Colorado. And I learned all about pranayama, which is this type of breathing. It's this yogic breathing from, centuries ago, where you regulate your breath. I'll call it that, but for them, it might be called something like, more of conscious breathing, without getting into terms and getting specific. I would say that I learned how to become very attuned to people's breath, to my own breath, to how we inhale and exhale. I've noticed in session with people who have PTSD or a trauma survivor, someone who has a sudden loss in their family. I could tell by the patterns of all these years of watching people when they would hold their breath. And it would always relate to an emotion that in the moment they didn't have time to unpack. Right. So if there's an accident occurring, you're going to run. You turn into, right, fight, flight, right? There's all the trauma responses that go on for some when there's an emergency, while that's going on, their breath is not regulated. They're on high alert, and the breath gets held quite often. And so I came to realize when, especially when you get to know people and you work with them, when they held their breath, when they exhaled and relaxed, when something was understood or a new level of um, surrender or healing occurs, I noticed there is more exhale and there was more flow in the breath, right? There's more equal in and out. So that um, regulation of the breath is also an awareness and something that I am definitely going to be teaching others at some point, perhaps, I'll do some videos on that, on how to regulate through the breath, the bring on the parasympathetic nervous system versus the sympathetic nervous system, which is okay, let's say the trauma system. We want to not be in the sympathetic. We want to be in the parasympathetic. We want to be in the assisted. We want to be doing the things that relax us. Okay, because life has stressors and we need to relax. And we can do that with breath awareness. So we can slow our breath down when we're not sure. There's all sorts of things to do to help us and to help our body to feel more comfortable in any situation. We may need to step aside for a moment to take this breath or take this moment to re-regulate. But how this relates to the quantum body is that I feel the, let's say, intersection between a regulated breath, a max output on, let's say running, or for me, it was on an elliptical, and heart coherence, having our heart open. So all these three doors need to be open comfortably. And we may start to begin when they're all aligned. We may start to lose time. We may start to feel a sense of, how did this happen? That's how it happened for me. The story for me was I was on the elliptical and I had pushed my max that day. I was, 20 at max up and at max speed at the same time. I was just like in one of those, I want to just do this mode. And I also am a long-term meditator, 30 years worth. And so I was in a sort of, maybe things were, maybe it was a beautiful, wonderful day before that and I had no stressors. So maybe I was just in a relaxed, open state. And I was also watching a video at the same time of someone talking to me that I love a lot. And it was just like all of the sudden, all of these three things came together. And it was as if I was pushing the elliptical, but I could almost breathe to push it. It became so light. I mean, it was almost like 45 minutes later that I came to that I just completed the whole thing. It timed out. And I looked at the scores on the screen and I thought, this is not, this is three times as much as I've ever done. This is not me. Is it broken? I thought there was something actually wrong with the elliptical in that moment. And oh, you bet I couldn't wait to get back to the gym again on that one. And again and again. And I started taking pictures of it. I couldn't believe it. I have all those pictures. I could upload those things. I just think there's too many variables, like what type of machine, my skill, my health condition, what level of health on that. I think there's too many variables for us to use it as any sort of template. But I will say to you that I'm very happy to answer any questions that any of you have in the comments below. Funny thing to say, but I'm happy to, because finding your light body is the most incredible, empowering experience. It's one of the most I've ever had. It changed everything. It opened the door. I felt it was the first door open. And, as the road progressed, other doors from the field presented, and I opened every one, every single one along the way. And I will continue because it's never ending. The lessons and the bliss and the awareness of the light body, it's a very beautiful stream of consciousness. And I hope that you will like and subscribe and join me in this thread of resonance that we are creating on this channel. Okay? So, hope to see you soon and have a wonderful day.